Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm so happy to have back on again Isabella Chiarini. She has a brand new single out. It's called Gotta Be, and I'm super excited to talk to her about it. Isabella, how are you doing? What's going on?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. This is my last interview of the year,
Wow.
and I think we're going out with a bang. So I'm
Oh,
excited
awesome.
about it.
Thanks.
Nice. What have you been up to, besides music? What's happening in the life?
I've been teaching a lot.
Yeah,
I've been doing a lot of teaching to the little kids, music, piano and
cool.
voice. So yeah, I've been really liking that aside from obviously doing all of my artist stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, it's been something that I've really gotten into, especially in the last few months, is like in where I work, getting into a little bit more like I guess the back end of things. So it's been kind of fun to start diving into the business stuff
Nice.
too.
Do you ever find that teaching kind of like unlocks something in you? Like maybe talking about it can kind of open up like, oh, I'm talking about this, so I'm going to try this method on something else to make.
It's like I find that just being a teacher and having to like explain almost what I'm doing to other
Exactly.
people, it's like, oh, I understand it more myself.
Right. Because yeah, most of the time as an artist, you're all in your head. And then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, the more I talk about this, get it out there.
Yeah.
So you've got this new single called Gotta Be, and it's fantastic. Like the
Thank you.
production is slick, you sound amazing. I want to get down to the actual meaning of it. I
Yeah.
think, like a lot of your music, it's not so much coded. Like you have obviously, like if you listen really closely, you can make connections yourself, but it's always best to hear from the artist themselves. So, what inspired this one?
This one was kind of it was I wrote it about like a kind of a toxic relationship, like a lot of people do. But
Happens.
it's like somebody who's coming in and out of your life, and then every time they come back in, they're like, oh, like I'm trying to make your life better, like I'm doing all these things for you, and then they just like leave
Yeah.
it. And it's like this
Yeah.
like teeter of like they're trying to help you, like they say they're trying to help you, but they're really just making it worse. They're trying to disguise what they're doing.
Been there one too many times,
Yeah,
unfortunately. It's rough. But
yeah,
self-reflection and introspection, it always helps to actually write these songs. So I get it.
yeah,
Like so many artists out there, and I think just modern day, maybe just pop music, but so much more. It's like I think it's so much more genuine to write a song on something that actually happened to you as opposed to like, oh, it's been 3 months since I wrote a song. Let me just fabricate this thing that didn't happen.
yeah,
But it comes off so much more genuine and sincere. Obviously, bad situation to be in, but
yeah.
it's part of life, unfortunately. You run into those people and pass them on by.
Exactly. It's like I find that like songwriting is just so therapeutic. Of like everybody says, like it
Yeah.
just getting it out on paper or just singing it out. It just like it's like you can put in the past almost.
Absolutely. No, it's a real life diary that people who know you or don't know you can dig into and be like, I
Yeah,
don't know who Isabella is, but I can relate to her in so
yeah.
many ways. So I get that. What was the actual structure of making this thing? Because not to take you away from the situation, but the production is beautiful. Everything is layered and cinematic, and it just feels very complete.
Yeah.
What was like I guess how did it begin? How did you want this to sound?
So I took for this song, I took a lot of inspiration from like The Weekend, like his "Take My Breath,"
Nice.
like that kind of that
Yeah, yeah,
Donna
yeah.
and all that. And then I took a lot of Chapo Roan started coming out, and I started
Cool.
to really like some of her stuff. So I started tried to mix the two together for this one.
Hmm.
And I liked how like in this song, like the lyrics are kind of angry and sad and everything, but the music is more upbeat. So it kind of it's kind of like I wanted that parallel of like you can feel some type of way like inside, you can feel upset inside, but to everybody else you're showing happiness and you're showing that nothing's wrong. So
Exactly.
yeah,
And I'm
so
not I'm not just saying that's my favorite type of music because it kind of I don't know, it brings in a very specific type of listener.
yeah,
If music, if like the actual sound and instrumentation is happy, but also the lyrics are, that's I don't know what it is, but like I don't fully vibe with it. But when there's this difference happening, it's like, oh, this is for serious music listeners who are like, yeah, music makes you happy, but then there's like the 90% of the people that just don't care about what you're saying. It's just about how the music makes them feel. So
yeah.
I like that. I really like that you went that direction with it.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then I wrote it, so I co-wrote this one too. So I was like, so
Okay.
I wrote it a few months earlier with my singing teacher Teresa, and then I took it to my producer Paul, who produced my last one too. And I like kind of
Nice.
just whenever I go into the recording studio, I kind of just throw everything at them, and
Yeah.
I'm like, here, I have 16,000 songs. I have this. I have like as for
Sure.
reference, I have all these things. Take it and go, and then
Exactly.
so it kind of so we did a lot of like mixing and stuff. I went in and we did a lot of picking and choosing of sounds, and then it came out to this.
Nice. I mean, I have to assume that you did have a vision for the song. I
Yeah,
know that it's great to have a producer that kind of gets the other half of your brain and what you're going for,
yeah,
but there comes a point where it's like I think we're in the world of production where it's like you could literally make anything. You could
yeah,
have a 40-piece orchestra without having a single person there.
yeah,
And so it's like narrowing it down and kind of like tuning out the possibilities in your head becomes
yeah.
increasingly difficult.
Oh yeah, a hundred
Yeah.
percent. Yeah, it was like, but the having the vision, like to the core, I wanted it to be like The Weekend, Chaperone, like '80s stuff like that. That's
Exactly.
what I wanted in the to the core, and then I had all these songs, obviously, that I found that would kind of work.
Totally. No, it's 100% one of those songs that needs to be listened to on headphones because
Yes.
there's no because there's really so much happening in it. It's not like a half-assed phone or laptop speaker listen. It's like a get into this one.
Yeah.
Nice. The more you make music though, do you find that you find yourself refining your sound, or do you think that you've sort of found your lane in which you want to kind of branch out of?
Yeah, I think that like I obviously love like to stay in the pop kind of genre.
Yeah,
I think that's where I fit the most. Where I my music tends to just go naturally. But I've been really I've been really liking again like all those kind of fast songs. Like I've been into Dua Lipa
sure.
too, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's
Yeah.
where I'm kind of headed right now. And then I also I really like doing like the fast songs, and then when people slow them down into the acoustic side of it too.
Yes.
I really
Yes.
like that parallel of doing that too. So that could be also a lane that I want to discover as well.
Nice. I mean, considering like I said, this is the last interview of the year and all the album of the year lists have come out. Has there been something that came out this year that you're like, ooh, I wasn't expecting that to hit me as hard as it did. I think I sort of want to model myself after that.
Yeah. I really liked again the kind of like the like Sabrina Carpenter, like not like
Dude,
more her so
I love that album so much.
yeah, it's so
It's
good.
so
It's
good.
so good. Even just like her imaging, like everything like that, like the way she turned
Yeah.
out for her concerts, I'm like, that's like really cool. And I find myself
Yeah.
like gravitating towards how she looks and everything like that. So I've been really into that. And then even like as much as I've been mentioning Chaperone in this, I when I first started hearing her, I was like, oh,
Sure.
it's okay, you know. And then when I started actually listening to her music and I was like looking on her Instagram, I was like, wow, I feel like I look kind of like her, like with my
Yeah,
hair
no,
and everything.
absolutely.
So I'm like,
No, you've got like a chapel with like the Dua Lipa hair sort of
yeah,
going on. So it's like it's a nice mix. And that's a
yeah.
compliment, I promise.
Thank you.
I get it though. And I think like kind of just where we are in the world of music, and it goes back to the production is like pop music has evolved so much in the last 5, 10, 15 years, where it's not just like singular mainstream pop song. It's become so much more than that. And the more that we see these massive innovators that do these things, it's truly up to the independent artist to take that and continue to sort of like go left and right with it. And I really do feel that this is what that song is.
Thank you.
Um, I do want to know though, because it sounds like, and not to like totally lead you into the question, but it sounds like the the situation that you were in terms of like what the song is influenced by led to the creation of the song.
Yeah,
But as far as creating the actual song, was it the lyrics that came first, or was it like the idea and tone of the whole track?
definitely the idea and the tone. I was like,
Okay. Oh,
I
okay.
went
I'm surprised by that.
yeah, definitely. This one was a little bit weird. Like I went in knowing like what I wanted it to sound like, and that I had some ideas, but I didn't quite have it like mapped up. Like I went into the songwriting session like being like, I have this idea. This happened to me. What like how can we write this out?
Right.
So and then I
The,
went
yeah.
yeah.
Does it, well, do you find that it happens like that all the time? Because I know a lot of artists get into a specific creative flow where it's like, yeah, this series of horrible things happened to me and I like pumped out 10 songs. And I'm not saying that, you have to have horrible things happen to you to
No.
write a song, but I do think that living life is part of creating art.
Yeah. Yeah, I do find that a lot of times I go into the sessions and the first question like whoever I'm writing with always asks me what's been going on in your life, how you feeling, like something
Yeah,
like just because again, you like you said, it's easier to write on things that actually happen and pulling on real emotions and stuff. So whatever's been happening is just kind of how it goes, usually what I write about.
exactly. I mean, the more that you make music, do you find that you're learning new things in these new sessions?
Yes, definitely. I'm it's always a game for me of like how can I do better? You know,
Right.
what can I do? What can I learn to make this one better than the last or different than the last? You know what I mean?
I mean that's the best attitude to have, but do you find that it comes from a more technical standpoint or like a streamlining of writing and recording?
Definitely technical. Like for me, it's like co-writes have always been more of my thing. Like getting more, the more I co-write though, the easier it is for me to come in with different ideas and like different, even just like lyric lines that I wouldn't have maybe come up with before and stuff.
Sure. Okay, I totally get that. Cause like, I mean, I think people take that into their everyday lives. It doesn't need to be music. The
Yeah,
more repetition and the more that you do things, the more you're going to find out, oh, if I just take this thing away, that I can get it done 5 minutes faster. And
yes,
it's not to say that it's like a race to the finish, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
Um, well, listen, we are 4 days out from the new year, and it's normally a question I'd ask in the beginning of December, like, what's the new year looking like? And as we're recording this, the song isn't officially released. So when is the official release date on this?
January the 8th.
Okay, great. So that sort of answers the first part of my question. What are your plans for the new year? Blah blah blah. You're kicking it off strong on January 8th with this song.
Yeah.
Um, as you go into these sessions of writing and producing and all that stuff, do you knock out songs one at a time or do you try to come in with multiple ideas?
Normally I write one at a time. It's hard,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
it's hard for me to like have like 6 songs on the go. I know that a lot of artists do that, like they have a bunch of songs. But for me, I'm
sure.
like, once I get fixated on one, I can't get my mind off of it. So
Yes.
I'm like, do this one, get it recorded, do the next one, get it recorded. But I try to do it as fast as possible. Like in the new year,
Yeah.
like in the new year, like I said earlier, I wanted to do like the acoustic side of things. So
Hmm.
like I already have an idea for that I'm gonna do in January. Like I have it, you know what I
Okay.
mean? I have it like planned.
Sure. No, I totally understand that. I am the same type of person. I don't know what that says about us, but like I no, because I get it. I think a lot of people go into the studio, for example, and they're like, okay, I know studio time is expensive, so I have 10 songs. I'm going to try to get these done. But it's also like filming a movie, something I've never done before, but something I know about.
Yeah,
It's like, well, we need to shoot the last scene first because it's the most expensive. And then we need to shoot the middle scene because the light is out. It's like, I think when it comes to music, if you're not doing it as it happens, then maybe the delivery is off in your voice or the tone is off or the emotion or something like
yeah,
that. For me, I think the only way to do it is from start to finish. And
yeah.
you can kind of tell in the end product. So I get it.
100%.
Talking a little bit more about the new year, obviously, new music is coming. I'm sure that you'll have more singles as they continue to happen and work on things. Is there sort of like an overarching goal for the new year? Are you planning on doing shows, etc.?
Yeah, it definitely shows. I find that I get like the shows more come near the summertime. Like that's when
Yeah,
all the festivals and all the like all
sure.
that kind of stuff comes in. So I definitely in this like I usually focus on recording in the winter months, and then as the summer months come, I focus on performing.
Yeah,
That's
smart.
usually been my thing. So making sure like getting like doing new things, like performing new places, and getting in the studio as much as I can in the winter months to get all of my music kind of ready to go for the new year and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. That's the way to do it. I feel like you kind of prep for yourself during the downtime,
Yeah.
which is kind of the best way to do it because I don't know. I mean, like 95% of the independent artists I talk to are like, it's not their full-time job. They have lives, they teach, they do whatever, but this is their creative outlet and hobby. during these downtimes, which I kind of feel like after Thanksgiving, no one really cares about what's going on in life. It's just like
Yeah.
this downtime of like, okay, I can put my head down and do something creatively for me. This
Mhm.
is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing I really wanted to circle back on that you said was working on an acoustic version. I'm assuming you meant acoustic version of this.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Do you need to go back into the studio for that, or do you need to rework everything? Like, what's the process for that?
Yeah, I really for this one I really wanted to do both because like again, like I said the lyrics were like more angry, upset and all that stuff. But I think that
Yeah,
the song like production wise it could have gone either way. Like just
sure.
depends. So I was like sending this song to like my family, whatever. I was like, what do you think? Like, do you like all this stuff? And they were like, I really like it. I also, but then they were also saying, I think it could be acoustic too. So I was
Yeah,
like the amount of people were telling me that I was like, okay, I think this is something I need to do.
right.
So I think I want to like I definitely want to go in and like do a full like record of it, like not just like a cover. Like I want to go in and actually release an acoustic version. So going
Yeah.
back to the studio and recording new vocals and actual instruments and stuff.
I feel like that's maybe less work potentially.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. I'm just saying, like, obviously the production and the mixing and the mastering and all that stuff takes time. But an acoustic song, you could maybe knock it out. But I think potentially like an acoustic song could use some reworking in
Yeah.
terms of delivery. So,
Yeah, definitely gonna go in and re-record some of the vocals and all that stuff. I think that it needs to be now that because with the acoustic versions, I think it's more focused on the voice too, rather than like
yeah,
all the production behind you. So there has to be some different stuff going on too.
absolutely. From a personal standpoint, what is the new year looking like for you?
Well, I'm currently in school. I'm at
Nice.
yeah, I'm doing music business. So definitely,
Awesome.
yeah, definitely continuing that. And then just teaching on the side as well. Just lots of different hats going on. But
No, I understand that.
yeah.
I think just being a creative person, especially an artist, can become mentally taxing at times where you need to take a step away. What are some things in your life that you step away to in terms of like hobbies or just things to do to sort of reset?
Recently, I've been walking a lot. I've been going to the gym since the February of last year, so it'll be a year in February.
Awesome.
I started that going there. In the beginning it was a little rocky. I was like, oh, I don't know about this, but
It always is.
yeah. But now it's become just part of the routine. So it's getting a
Very
lot better.
cool.
Yeah, walking a lot. And just like spending time with like friends, obviously like the regular
Yeah,
stuff, just kind of pulling your mind out of it for a few hours.
love that. I have a couple more questions for you. I want to know, I think anytime that people listen to these, they're going to be introduced to you for the first time. Is there something you'd want the first time listener to sort of take away from this if this was the first song that they're listening to from you?
Yeah. I always whenever I write, like I guess it's even though there's angry lyrics, there's always like a flip side. It's like
Sure.
you can feel this type of way, but don't let these people like or this person take away from who you are. Like you need to be okay on your own before somebody
Yeah,
else then starts messing with you, right? So it's
right.
always like it's almost like I want them to listen to this song and let it all out. So that once they listen to the song and they let it out, they're like, ah, I can be okay again. I can be myself again. Because that's truly what, everybody wants to be good with themselves.
I agree. I think so much one of the most important parts of like discovering an artist for the first time is the relatability. Unfortunately and fortunately, there's insanely talented artists everywhere in every medium that you look at. And I find the one thing that keeps me coming back for whoever it is, whether it be a megastar or an indie artist, like it's the relatability. If we've gone through something similar, if we're experiencing the same things, and it's catchy and makes me want to come back, then you've created a fan for life. And
Mhm.
I do feel that's kind of what you've done here is you've sort of bared your soul in a way. And it's like, hey, I know you don't know me, maybe, but this is what's going on. If it's for you, it's for you. And if it's not, it's not.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. My last thing here for you is basically it's to you. It's where can people find you? Where can people listen?
Yeah. Instagram is just my name, Isabella Chiarini with the two eyes at the end. And then on TikTok it's Isabella Chiarini official. And then
Sweet.
yeah, and then just Spotify, Apple Music, just the same thing as Bella Chiarini.
Cool. Isabella, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. You've wrapped up my year in a great way because this is the last thing I'm going to do basically.
Awesome.
And truly, like, I'm excited for this song. For
Thank you.
everyone out there, we're gonna have all the links everywhere so you can listen and share and follow along and all that good stuff. I'm excited for more. I'm excited for the acoustic version to really kind of compare and contrast.
Yes.
And I'm excited for any new originals that come. And I really hope to speak soon.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Have an amazing rest of your day. Stay warm and
Thank you.
talk to you soon.
Thanks.
See ya. Bye bye.